Hello, second grade Smarties, and welcome to iReady Math Lesson 13. This week, we are adding three-digit numbers. So in the past few lessons, we have talked about three-digit numbers and the value of each place in those numbers. Today, in this week, we are going to be adding three-digit numbers. So let's go ahead and get started in our instruction book on pages 114 and 115. So we are going to start with a word problem. It says there are 214 fish in the giant tank at an aquarium. There are 131 other sea animals in the tank. How many animals live in the giant tank? So this is a word problem. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to read it again. I'm going to circle my important numbers and underline keywords that help me understand what I am supposed to do in this word problem. So let's go back to the beginning. It says there are 214 fish in the giant tank at an aquarium. There are 131 other sea animals in the tank. How many animals live in the giant tank? So look back at our word problem. What are the two numbers that we circled? We circled 214 and 131. What is the question asking us to do? It's asking us to find how many animals live in the giant tank. So 214 and 131. Are we adding, subtracting, or finding a missing part? We're adding. We are adding 214 and 131 to find how many animals live in the giant tank. So this is our first time exploring adding three-digit numbers. So we're going to use different strategies to add these three-digit numbers. Woo! All right, so let's get started with letter A. It says how many hundreds, tens, and ones are in each number? Fill in the table. So look over here, my little smarties. So our two parts are 214 and 131. We are going to show how many hundreds, tens, and ones are in each number. So in 214, how many hundreds do we have? We have 2 hundreds, 1 10, and 4 ones. I want you to go ahead and fill in the digits for each place value for 131. So go ahead and do that, and we will check to see if we have the same answer. So in 131, we have 100, 3 tens, and 1 1. Letter B says, what is the total number of hundreds, tens, and ones in the chart? So we are going to put our parts together. So let's start with our hundreds. In our two numbers, how many hundreds do we have? 2 plus 100s would be 300s. In our tens place, what is the total number of tens that we have? 1 plus 3. We would have 4 tens. And in our ones place, we have 4 plus 1. So we would have 5 ones. Now, these are the digits that we use for the place value. But these digits don't tell us the value of those numbers. So 300s would be the same as 300. So we have to write the value of each number. So 300s. What is the value of 4 tens? 40, right? I could count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40. 4 tens is the same as 40. And 5 ones has a value of 5. So how many animals live in the giant tank? If I put the value of these numbers together, what is our whole? 345. So there are 345 animals living in the giant tank. On page 115, it says there are other ways to find the sum of 214 and 131. Here are two ways to break apart addends. So if you look over here, we have our equation. We have 214 plus 131. Now, remember, Smarties, if this strategy works for you to start with adding your ones, tens, and hundreds, use that strategy. But you could also show the value of each digit to help you find that whole. So in 214, if you look at this little arrow, it shows us the value of each digit. So 214 is 200 plus 10 plus 4. 131 has a value of 100 plus 30 plus 1. What did they do after they found the value of each digit? They put the total number of hundreds, tens, and ones together. So they added the ones. So 4 plus 1 was 5 ones. They added the tens. 10 plus 30 is 40. And they added the hundreds. 200 plus 100 is 300. They put the total value of each number together to get a total of 345. We could also do the same thing, but just use the digits to tell the value of that place. So we had 200s plus 110 plus 4 ones. 131 was 100 plus 3 tens plus 1 1. So then we put the total number of hundreds, tens, and ones together to make a total of 345. So that strategy is really helpful with seeing the value of those digits. So I actually am going to put a star next to this strategy because I think that is really helpful with seeing the value of each digit. But there's another way we can show adding 3-digit numbers. We can start with one of our parts. So we're starting with 214, and we can add 131 on an open number line. But look at how they did it. They started with 214, and in 131, we have 100. So adding 100 to 214, if I add a 1 in the hundreds place, I would have 314. Then, so there's 100 and 131. Then they added 30 to 314. So the only place that would change is the tens place. So 314 plus 30 would be 344. And in 131, we have 1 1. So 344 plus 1. The only place that's changing is our ones place. So we can show the value of these numbers too by using an open number line. So thinking about all the different strategies that we have used in the past to add 2-digit numbers, now 3-digit numbers, I want you to think about what can happen if I have too many ones in the ones place. Because here is what our last question is asking. It says, do you always have to add hundreds, then tens, then ones? Why or why not? So in this strategy, we started by showing the value of the hundreds, then the tens, then the ones. But what happens if I have, let's say I have 216, and then I have 215. Okay, so if I started in my hundreds place, well, looking at what I have right now, I have 4 hundreds. Then I move to my tens place. So 110 plus 110 would be 2 tens. But then, oh no, 6 ones plus 5 ones. Let's add that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Uh-oh. Can I have 11 ones in the ones place? I can't. So what do I have to do when I have too many ones in the ones place? My ones like to hang out with my ones, but I have too many. I have a 10 in my ones place. So in 11, I have 1, 1, but I also have 1, 10. So my ones hang out with my ones and my tens hang out with my tens. So my 1, 10, and 11 has to move up to the tens place. So now I have 1, 1. I have 1, 2, 3 tens. I don't have too many tens, so I can move to my hundreds place. So 2 plus 2 is 4. So when we are adding, should we start with the hundreds or should we start with the ones? We should start with the ones. Why should we start with the ones? What did we discover when Miss Mason did this problem? When we started with the hundreds, we are not going to have the correct whole because we had too many ones in the ones place. So our tens place was incorrect. We should start with the ones because our value could change if we have too many in the ones place. Or let's say we had a number that was like 350 plus 280. Well, we start in our ones place. 0 ones plus 0 ones is 0. But then if we moved to our tens place, that would be our next lowest value. So 5 tens plus 8 tens would be 13 tens. Well, if I draw 13 tens, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Uh-oh, I have 10 tens, which is the same as what? It's the same as 100. So I can't have 13 tens in the tens place because I have 100. So in 13 tens, my tens hang out with my tens and my hundreds hang out with my hundreds. So I would keep 3 tens, but my 100 would move to the hundreds place. So when we are adding, we should always start with the lowest place value, because if I have too many tens or too many ones, that could change the entire value of the number. So now Miss Mason has to finish what she started. So we should start with the ones because our value could change if we have too many in the lowest place value. All right, Smarties. So that is it for day 1 in lesson 13. I want you to remember to always keep that growth mindset. Good learners do hard things. Find what strategy works best for you and roll with it. Keep going with it. All right, Smarties. I will see you tomorrow with another math lesson in lesson 13. Happy learning, Smarties.